All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and go through this mid-module review. I know a lot of the stuff that is on this review might have been a little bit hard. You just didn't really remember just because it was so many lessons ago, over 10 lessons ago, and that's okay. I'm hoping that you were able to do most of this stuff. If not, then we're in trouble a little bit, but we will go over the answers. Please check your work and make any corrections, and this is what you're going to use to study for tomorrow's assessment, okay? So number one dealt with the identities that we talked about at the very beginning of the module, okay? And number one is dealing with the relationship between addition and subtraction. So letter A is telling us 38 plus blank minus 15 equals 38. This answer is 15, okay? We add 15 and then take away 15 and we end up with the original number. Letter B, we have blank plus m minus m equals k. This answer is k. We start off with k, we add m, we take m away, and we end up with k again. And letter C, we have a plus c minus blank equals equals a, sorry. So a plus c minus c equals a. And letter D, we have 498 minus 93 plus 93 equals 498. Remember, the relationship here pretty much is that everything that happens in the middle, we add and then we take away. We add and subtract, or subtract and add. Whatever happens in the middle pretty much cancels out, so we end up with that original number. Number two is telling us to write an expression to show the relationship of multiplication and division. Okay, so on number two, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 fives, and we're adding them up. So the relationship between addition and multiplication here would be 8 times 5, and that's our answer, okay? The first number is telling us how many of the second number there are. 8 times 5, 8 groups of 5. Now, number 3, we have 6 times 9. So that means we are having 6 groups of 9. We have to write this like 9 plus 9 plus 9 plus 9 plus 9 plus 9. And that is our answer. Number 4, we have 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. We have 4 groups of 3, so our answer would be 4 times 3. And number 5 has a variable, okay? The first number is 8, so this is telling us 8 times b, so 8 groups of b. And remember, when we use variables, we don't want to use this x multiplication symbol, so I'm going to use the dot. So this is going to be b times b times b times b times b times b times b. Okay, we have we have 8 groups of b there, and this comes out to our answer. All right, let's keep moving on. Number 6 says write 10 to the 6th power as a multiplication expression having repeated factors. So all we're doing is multiplying 10 by itself 6 times. So our answer here would be 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 times 10. And that's all we have to write. Number 7, those little stars just mean to multiply. Okay, so it says write 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 using exponents. Okay, so all this would be is 3 to the 4th power, and that's our answer. The next part says for questions 8 through 10, use the order of operations to evaluate these expressions. Remember, evaluate is just a fancy word for solve. And we are using PEMDAS. Remember, PEMDAS is the order of operations, okay? Parentheses, exponents, multiplication, and division are in the same category, so we solve those from left to right. And addition and subtraction are in the same category, so we solve those from left to right, okay? So looking at number 8, it says evaluate this expression. We have 33 divided by, in parentheses, 2 plus 1, minus 2 times, in parentheses, 2 plus 1. So the first thing we have to do is what's inside of the parentheses, okay? We're going to solve that, and then I'm going to rewrite my problem. Remember, it's very important to rewrite your answer or rewrite your problem because it'll help you out down the road, okay? Especially when you have super long problems, okay? And it keeps you from getting confused, and it's very important to be organized. So my problem now turns into 33 divided by 2 plus 1 is 3 minus 2 times 2 plus 1 is 3. Okay, the next thing I need to do, I don't have any exponents, so I'm looking at multiplication and division. They're in the same category, so I'm solving this from left to right. 33 divided by 3 is 11, minus 2 times 3 is 6, and 11 minus 6 equals 5. And that is our answer. Number 9, evaluate the expression. We have 1 times 3 plus 4 squared in parentheses divided by 2 minus 2. So the first thing we have to do is what's inside of the parentheses. And inside of the parentheses, we have an exponent, so that's what we have to do first inside of the parentheses. 4 squared is 4 times 4, that just equals 16. And 16 plus 3 is 19. So now my problem is 1 times 19 divided by 2 minus 2. The next thing I need to do is multiplication and division and solve it from left to right. So we have 1 times 19, which is 19, and 19 divided by 2, you're going to have to go into the decimals for this one, comes out to 9.5. And all we have left is 9.5 minus 2, which gives us our answer of 7.5. Okay? Hopefully, if you got this problem wrong, you can make those corrections. And number 10, evaluate this expression. We have 12 times 3 plus 2 squared in parentheses divided by 2 minus 10. The first thing I need to do, what's inside of the parentheses. 3 plus 2, and that is 5. Okay? And that 5 is squared. 5 squared is equal to 5 times 5, which equals 25. So now, when I rewrite my expression, I have 12 times 25 divided by 2 minus 10. And when we multiply here, 12 times 25, this would come out to 300. So now we have 300 divided by 2 minus 10. 300 divided by 2 is 150. 150 minus 10 gives us our final answer of 140. Okay, that is our final answer, 140. All right, guys, the next problems deal with what we've been talking about lately in math class is it says write an expression showing the sum of 5 and a number. Okay, the keyword here is sum. So that means that we are adding, and we are adding 5 and a number f. So our answer is 5 plus f. Number 12, write an expression showing 6 less than the number k. Less means to subtract, and we are taking 6 away from k because it's telling us 6 less than k. So our answer here is k minus 6. Number 13 says, write an expression showing the sum of a number b and a number w minus 2. Okay, so what we would do first is write down b plus a number w minus 2 would be w minus 2 in parentheses. We need to figure what w minus 2 is first before we add it to b, so that's why we put it into parentheses. 14 and 15 and 16, I believe, is telling us to use the distributive property to write the following expressions in expanded form, okay? So the first thing that I have to do using the distributive property is telling us that everything on the inside, I have to multiply to everything on the outside of the parentheses. I need to multiply to everything on the inside of the parentheses. So the first thing I have is 2 times c, which is 2c, plus 2 times d, which is 2d. So our answer is 2c plus 2d. Number 15. We have 5 outside of the parentheses, and inside of the parentheses we have 5h plus 5m. So I need to multiply 5 times 5h, which gives us 25h, plus 5 times 5m, which gives us 25m. And 25h plus 25m is our answer. Number 16, okay, we have e on the outside of the parentheses and m plus n on the inside. We are multiplying e plus m first. That gives us em plus e times n. Okay, that would give me en. These are in alphabetical order. Remember, variables always have to be in alphabetical order when you list them. So our answer comes out to em plus en. All right, the next part says, mark the text by underlining keywords and then write an expression using variables and or numbers for each of the statements below. So this is what we did on the very last lesson that I taught, okay, lesson 17. They're giving us real world examples, and we're gonna have to write an expression depending on what they gives us. So Kayla picked X amount of peaches, took a break, and then picked P more. The keyword here is more. Write the expression that models the total number of peaches Kayla picked. So more and total is telling us to add, so we are adding X plus P, and that is our answer. Number 18, a number P is tripled and then decreased by 7. A number P is tripled and then decreased by 7. So our answer here would be 3P minus 7. Tripled is telling us to multiply by 3. This is what we're doing here. And decreased by 7 is telling us to subtract 7, and that's what we're doing here. So that is our final answer. Number 19, Sayla brings S crackers to school and combines them with Roxy's J crackers. He then splits them equally among 5 friends. Combines is telling us to add, and then splits is telling us to divide by 5. So our answer here would be S plus J in parentheses, because we need to solve that first before we divide by 5. Another way we can write this is s plus j over 5. And the last problem of this review is telling us Danielle's hair was 8 inches long, and then she cut 8 inches. Cut is the key word here, and cut is telling us to subtract. So our answer is 8 minus h. All right, guys, that is the review. Hopefully you did pretty well on it. If you have any questions, send me a private message on Google Classroom. Okay, if you do have any questions, or just add a comment somewhere with any of your questions, and I'll try to respond to those as fast as I can. Another thing that might be on the test tomorrow on the assessment is exponents. Okay, remember, if I have 5 to the third power, that equals 5 times 5 times 5, which would equal 5 times 5 is 25 times 5 is 125. So there might be a problem where you're going to have to list the exponential form, the expanded form, and then the standard form. Okay, another example, 3 to the second power is equal to 3 times 3, which is equal to 9. All right. Hopefully that helps, guys. Good luck on the assessment today. I hope class is going good with the sub. Again, if you guys have any questions, just put a comment on Google Classroom somewhere where I can see it, and it'll send me a notification to my email, and I'll try to answer those as quickly as possible. All right, guys. Hope you have a good weekend. Have a great day.